I was going through a trying time. My own story about how I became a high school coach is my wife became sick. She had lung disease, and we got the news that she was in line for a lung transplant. So I had to get a job basically closer to her family. And TCPS came calling, and it was a big deal for us, and I felt like that was a place that God led us to be. So before I even coached my first high school baseball game, I'm going through a process at Duke Medical with my wife where she's having a double lung transplant. And when I've told this story many times, but when you get in the coaching profession, that will change your priorities immediately as far as what you invest in and what you're looking for. And so for me, the process that she went through, she goes to Duke Medical for 30 days for rehab. She's on the list, and just so you understand, she's getting someone else's lungs. They're cutting her open to give her somebody else's lungs. It's just absolutely amazing to me what the human body can take. And then I go up there during that process, and I come back a couple of weeks before the season. And so my priorities on baseball and as a baseball coach completely changed. The whole thing is bigger than ball. The only thing we're doing as coaches is using the platform. That's absolutely the only thing we're doing. I wore this ring on purpose. This is my 8th year at the school, and we were fortunate enough to win a state championship. But I'm going to tell you, here's what happens. This right here sits in my house on the counter. That's like the second time I've worn it. That's not what I was chasing. So many times we've told our team, Cade Hall is a senior with us. I asked him to come with us, but he can testify to this. But so many times I tell our guys very candidly, guys, I'd rather have a bunch of guys that get it. They do the small things right. And those small things, they enjoy the process. Great leadership, great guys, camaraderie, the brotherhood. I'd rather have a team like that and us get beat in the first round of the playoffs than have a bunch of pricks and win it all. Very candidly, is my wife changed me. When we got married, you got to hang with me here, guys. Now, try to put yourself in my shoes. I'm not wanting sympathy. I'm not wanting you to feel sorry for me, because something's going to happen in your life. When I get married and I get the news that she has to have a double lung transplant, this is right before we get married, okay? I had to get real with God when He tells us that we're not living for this world. So think about that for a second. We're not living for this world. Almost impossible for us as human beings to get. We are human. We're going to make mistakes, and we get caught up every day in the drama of life. It doesn't matter how good of a person you are, you're going to want to chase that ring for your own pride and ego. You're going to want that nicest vehicle. You're going to want all these things. But when you back up for a second and you live a life every day like I do, I'm in a very fortunate, unfortunate situation. My wife could pass any day. She's in line for a second transplant. But we are so fortunate because I get to live a life that not many ever get to do. My life, I wake up every day in an appreciation that you can't really force upon anyone. That appreciation that I live for lets me know, hey, I'm not going to be here for the rest of my life. This is not really about now. This is not really about this place. What are you going to do with your time? I know every day that I wake up that I will probably, the percentages says that I will outlive my wife unless I have a car wreck, unless something happens to me. And those are real things that could happen. But it's very real that at 42 years old, within 6 months to a year, when she has her transplant, the average lifespan is 5 to 8 years, and we're about 5 to 8 years past the first one. So if this transplant goes well, we might get 5 to 8, but she went through with a lot of people that passed away within a year after the transplant. I'm telling you guys, that doesn't scare me at all. I'm not fearful of that, because I know I'm not living for this world. I am wholehearted, sold out for Jesus and heaven. Heaven is so real to me that I wish I could just take that and give it to you and just boom, give it to you. But unfortunately, I live that life that I can see that. Let's go 3 or 4 more so I can talk some more and share Christ. Let me tell you a little bit about my life. Before my wife. 16 years old, accepted Christ, baptized. Go to college. It's amazing for you guys at your age, the peer pressure that you have. Nobody said as a Christian we're going to be safe. I know Will Rambo just sticks in my head. He talks about his daughter when he would leave in the morning. He'd have her in the crib. He said he never prayed for her to be safe. He prayed for her to be God's. But man, that stuck with me. How powerful is that? We're not going to be safe. Guys, I'm realistic. Hey, we're at church. We're talking here, but we're human. You guys, some of you guys are going to leave here tonight, this weekend, whatever. Some of you guys are going to drink. You're going to be influenced to do something. Hey, you're human. We are in denial if we sit here and because we're at the church or whatever and say that, hey, we got it all figured out. Guys, we make mistakes every day, but you got to be chasing Christ. I made my mistakes in high school after I accepted Christ. I made my mistakes in college. I made my mistakes as a young man, a young adult. But Christ never left me. Christ never left me. And that conscience that I had, the love that I had, the love that Christ showed me, kept me driving towards Him. Just like He said, it's destruction, man. Believe me. I accepted Christ when I was 16, but I was on my knees at 24 crying for 2 hours straight. It's going to happen to you guys. There's a balance there. It's going to happen. I went through my life in my 20s. Hey man, I only lived once. It was permission to be irresponsible. It was permission for me to not be accountable. It was permission for me to be selfish. And that's why I'm here tonight. I want to talk to you about being a man. And it's a short and sweet conversation that I can give you right now. I'm going to go ahead and cut this off because I'm about to wrap it up. Being accountable to your teammates makes you a great baseball player. Being very responsible, showing up on time. If coaches are not around and you're still working, you would have practice just as if the same way if they were not around. Being selfless, going and doing and thinking about your teammate and your team first makes you an awesome baseball player and baseball team. Having high integrity. Integrity, man. Hey, when people aren't looking, what are your decisions? I'm going to confess to you tonight that when I first got married, it was horrible. Because of me. I got married in my 30s. Right? You only live once. There's permission. go and do and live and do for me. Guess what? I had a decade of habits of thinking about myself. And my wife, God love her, she's as strong as they come. And she broke my tail. Not with a lot of heartache. Not with a lot of fights. Our first couple of years of marriage, guys, I'm confessing to you, it was tough. It was because of me. It was because of me. And do you know that dude that held the baseball in his hand and was always in control? You know how tough it was to let go of control? You know how tough it was to look in the mirror and say, you are the problem? That was tough. Guys, I don't expect you to be men right now, but you should chase that. Because the last thing that I think what it takes to be a man is loving. What they say, real men wear pink. Real men love, and they show love. One of the things that changed my life, one of my good friends was coaching at Raleigh High School. Never had any reason to go there in my life, and I wanted to see what he was doing there. And he had a little weight room. He was showing off everything, and one guy walked out. He said, "Bye, Joe." I don't know. He said, "Love you, Joe." He said, "I love you, Coach." It happened over and over again. Love you, love you. I heard this word, love, that kept coming up. And that stuck with me. You can be all things in this life, but if you don't have love, you'll never be a man. If you don't know how to love, if you don't know how to respect your wife, if you don't know how to be a man and be a father for your daughter or your son, you'll never truly be a man. But I want to tell you the truth right now, and it's just on piggyback off of this, you'll never be a man unless Christ is in your life. You'll never experience a love that Christ can give you. You can't love, in my opinion. It's personal. I'm not speaking truth as far as what I think. It's my feeling and my experience. I'm telling you, I don't think you'll ever love your wife the way you can unless you accept Christ. Because I think that selfish nature is a black hole in your life. It's right here in your heart. That black hole that takes over you. Without Christ, man, it's destruction. Absolutely. Thank God he spoke on that. Because it gave the platform for exactly what I wanted to say. Guys, I want you to be men. I want you to not put your job and career above your family. I want, when you play this year, man, just love the game. Forget travel ball. Forget the trophy. Enjoy the process. Listen to your coach. He's going to prepare you for life. And love the moment. Don't be afraid to say I love you. It's very powerful, guys. It changed my life forever. And I'm going to tell you, when you experience that true love that Christ can give you, you'll start to see things about life and about the things that you can do in this life that's never even occurred to you before. There's so many things that separate Christ that we can never experience and we can never gain and understand. So I just want to leave you with that. As a man, be responsible. Be accountable. Have high integrity. Be selfless. Selfless, not selfish. But above all, be loving. I think you have to have, in my own experience, I think you have to have all